So, Baba Booey, Baba Booey. So, hello, whoever is watching. No idea. But I felt like posting my thoughts on this. So, I've been following Mortal Kombat 1 a little bit. So far, the only thing I could take from it is that I'm enjoying the Mortal Kombat 9 kind of combo system coming back. I do like air combos and juggles again. Clearly there's a little bit more into it than Mortal Kombat 9, but I like the state of the game so far. It's a little slow. And I, for one, will not be paying $70 for a game like this. I think that's fair. I don't know who in the right mind thinks that $70 is worth it. Same thing with Diablo 4 when that came out. I was like, bro, it's so good. Look, I got the premium edition or the extra large super shake edition. And it was like, the game wasn't included. And I was like, I'm not doing that. That's dumb. So that's where I'm at with that. No fighting game should ever be $70 unless that thing lets me in the middle of games like order Uber Eats on the fly and it gives me constant Chipotle discounts. Like, I refuse to think a $70 investment in a game that I'm sure, even as good as it is, will have like a random discount during the summer, that I should be paying $70 for. They need to stop doing that, especially with seeing like the gigabytes being over 100 gigabytes. I was like, clearly this is not optimized the way it should be. Someone did not take the time, and this is what happened when like MKX came out, and everyone was like, man, these graphics are so cool, but it like destroyed like most computers. And I remember some consoles kind of hiccuping once in a while at the time, and I just don't really think that's the power move here. The reason I am done with what I'm on a tangent about right now and why I'm actually here is because I remember, was it Uncaged Gamers or one of the other guys that usually covers these fighting game stuff in the Mortal Kombat NetherRealms area. One of them, I forgot, brought up that they saw a theory that Kuei Liang was actually Scorpion and Sub-Zero was actually Bihan. And when I heard them just really broadly bring up the fact that they're brothers, I was like, that's not really a lot to go off of. But then, like, I went and saw the fucking trailer here for the Lin Kuei, and I was like, gotcha. You know, it was kind of jackpot at that point. And I guess I'll show it now so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let me just pull this up here. Lower the volume a little bit. Okay, that audio is clearly not going through my headset. Oh no. We're going to zoom in on this little, there we go, right there for 5 seconds. I'll just edit that in post. I could care less. I mean, I do care, but like, I didn't want to transition like that. Okay. Audio is going to burn through my headphones and we will start again. So, obviously, cool trailer. Super dope.
The Lin Kuei is a centuries-old clan dedicated to Earthrealm's defense.
Right.
I need your help. The fate of the realms may depend on it.
I will emerge victorious.
So, I want to pause right here as the first thought that, like, my brain was like, huh, that's weird. Steve Blum is no longer voicing Sub-Zero. Okay, well, that's weird because it's saying that they haven't actually showed off the voice actors yet, which I'm pretty sure someone had that listed. But anyway, as you hear, it sounds like a Steve Blum that's like going through puberty a little bit, right? Like someone whose voice is just getting higher right there. And maybe that was just missing the mark on like the voice acting. But for me, it sounded like they were told to sound like Steve Blum's Sub-Zero. And if it ends up being Steve Blum, then that just really doubles my conviction in what's going on or what's going to be the end game.
We settle for defending Earthrealm when we could help lead it.
So I want to show right there, right? That Sub-Zero quote also, like the character being Sub-Zero, why I think they're Bihan, is there's something a little deep about their voice, right? And it also shows a level of arrogance. And That's always kind of been like and I know we could say whatever about like older Mortal Kombat comics and how characters are portrayed, and they've rebooted, and clearly consistent character direction has not been NetherRealm's strong suits after dissolving and re-emerging after Midway closing. But for me, Bihan has always been kind of shown as, we'll say, like a less emotional person, right? A little more disconnected. And for me, like this one becoming very ambitious, and kind of being like, we should be the ones taking care of everything. Like, we're just that good. That to me comes more like Bihan than if it was Kuai Liang, right? Oh man, I missed it, but let me go back right here too. So I know this isn't a big thing, but like, no one here is getting new costumes shown off, but in the background, we're seeing a scorpion right here, right? And the scorpion is classic, or, you know, MK, what was it, like 2? Scorpion, right? Why are they showing a classic scorpion costume in the background of all this stuff, right? I think it's supposed to be, what I remember reading some theories might be, is that the actual Hanzo Hasashi would just be too OP, or whatever else is going on, because clearly Ed Boon's like, he's too cool, so like clearly he wouldn't work around a, what on surface level looks like a Liu Kang kind of retcon to the Mortal Kombat universe, which actually ends up being maybe Shang Tsung pulling the strings. And so, if anyone's seen recently, to sidestep, first off, read Ultimate Invasion, I think it's called, where like the maker Reed Richards is now remaking the entire Marvel Ultimate Universe right now. Great comic, love it. But essentially that's what I think is going on, right? Is that there's more to it than just Liu Kang making his favorite timeline, right? Because there's certain things that just aren't adding up in terms of specific characters, or how they're playing a role in these things. I think they even said that Shao Kahn's around still for some reason. I have no idea why you'd ever keep a guy like that around. So like these things are coming off weird to me. And now, even though they're not taking super focus to it, I think it's supposed to be like, hey, I just want you guys to know that we also have a classic looking scorpion, right? And I don't think that's just supposed to be like a classic costume, right? I think that's genuinely supposed to be like, we're trying to tell you there's two different Scorpions, right? And that the Scorpion we saw earlier, that sounds like a younger Steve Blum, who voiced Scorpion in the last two games, is Sub-Zero, right? Kuai Liang's Sub-Zero in the last two games is actually Kuai Liang's Sub-Zero as the new Scorpion, right? With his brother Bihan here, who's the original Sub-Zero playing the original Sub-Zero. And that's why you hear that ambitious kind of like, we should be able to control everything. We're the gods here. Like clearly in that kind of, vein. This I'm going to bring up in a minute, but I want to point out, like, just keep that in the back of your mind, like, as they show up Smoke, let your brain connect things in the way he's interacting with, we'll say the other Lin Kuei, right? Also, is that Ermac in the background? What is that? What is that? Who's that right there?
Oak, there's fire. Whatever it takes, I am with you. We may not.
Oh, is that Sasuke from Naruto and, well, now Spider-Man, I guess. But, this right here, right? I actually paused at the right time because I missed the other one before, where I was like, oh, I just realized that might be, PS4 Spider-Man. Right here. Listen to this part and tell me this does not remind you of a specific character and how they interacted with Smoke in MK9's impression, right? And also, I guess you could say, in the Mortal Kombat animated movies, Battle of the Realms, which is garbage. You don't have to watch it, but if you did, then I think that's a good reference to go by.
Share blood. We are brothers.
Right there. Right? Right there. right? We don't share blood. We're brothers. Why are we focusing on Scorpion in this interpretation of Mortal Kombat as the guy that is trying to take in Smoke, right? And call them brothers? I think it's because Scorpion isn't Scorpion that we know. He's not Hanzo Hasashi. He's actually Kuei Liang. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I usually just call him Sub-Zero, right? Kuei Liang and Smoke have had a established history of a brotherly relationship with each other in prior animated films and video games, right? So for this to show up like that has me only kind of being like, I think that, like NetherRealm's being like, wink, like something's going on here. Most of this is just like, fight stuff, so whatever. Right here. I think this is the next part. Not the cool part where he stabs the guy in the head, right? Makes blind Kenshi even more blind. No, not that one.
We will achieve greatness.
What does that sound like? Let me repeat that for you, good sir.
We will achieve greatness.
What does that sound like to you? You know what that sounds like to me? And also, I should probably hit spacebar more instead of constantly clicking, but old habits die hard. That sounds like to me a similar interpretation of their Noob Saibot voice from Mortal Kombat 11. That sounds like
Greatness.
all right. Like, let me see if I can just do this real quick, right? Let me just do that. Let me just do a little, right? Pause that. MK11. Ba, ba, ba.
You disappoint me.
Right? Let's hear that again.
You disappoint me.
Sounds like a grungy, kind of like ethereal, monster, right? What do we hear here again?
We will achieve greatness.
A very similar ethereal kind of shadowy monster sound, right?
Abandoned traditions.
The Lin Kuei, we have been expecting you.
Alright, we're looking. I think the rest of it really is just like cool stuff, right? I see the end right there in the corner. We're not going to play that. I don't want to have to edit super violence, right? And consistently, but that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, I think if we look back at everything, Bihan in this iteration is still Sub-Zero, right? Kuei Liang never takes over the mantle. But for some reason, and I have no idea what exactly is going on, because you could clearly tell the Scorpion character sounds more like a younger brother to the Sub-Zero character than equal terms, right? Like equal kind of like peers, right? And why I think also the focus on having a classic Sub-Zero randomly in the background while everything's going on, like as a, the cameo, seems weird, right? Because they didn't show like Sub-Zero or Smoke, they showed Scorpion, right? I think that's weird, right? And again, going back to like when we talked about Smoke right there, like Smoke is here being told by, Scorpion, the one we think is like the younger, right, brother of the two.
Whatever it takes, I am with you.
We may not share blood. We are brothers.
Right there, right? That's like, why are they bringing that up, right? All right, we're gonna listen to this too because I want to make sure I'm not crazy. I do think that just sounds like Steve Blum for a moment, but clearly in that other moment where he's like, "We're brothers," like it's clearly not Steve Blum.
We'll emerge victorious.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like they were going for a, like, I don't know if they got a random voice actor for that little clip there to be like, you know.
I will emerge victorious.
He sounds different there and more Steve Blummy than, again, the smoke thing where, like, he's like, we're bros, you know? We're homies, dude. Don't worry. Let me check. Yeah.
With you, we may not share blood. We are brothers.
Yeah, see, he does not sound like where he sounded before. I don't know what that is. I might be just having a schizo post right now on a YouTube video, but I think that's the way it's going. I think the story might actually have a nice twist to it than how we had it with, like, MKX and MK11, right? Like, I think it's, like, a genuine kind of change. I think it's, like actually, like, there's some reasonable writing going on to the story. I have no idea if they fired everyone from before, because clearly we all have issues with some of X and almost all of the way 11 was written, right? So I'm hoping this means they went back to the ground board and they're like, everything on the surface looks like what you think is coming, but the twist is like, maybe Liu Kang's not Liu Kang, or Liu Kang got corrupted, or Shang Tsung is pretending to be Liu Kang, and like Liu Kang is having to pretend to be something else, and he actually lost at the end of 11, right? We'll see. I'm waiting for this to come out now, and again, I'm not buying it day one, unless, like, I get a nice bonus on your boys' paychecks coming up, but I just, no fighting games worth $70, I'm sorry. And this whole tradition of $70 games to me is outrageous. That being said, I'm hoping to pick it up the minute there's a discount, or, if someone wants to gift it to me, that'd be phenomenal. I'd love to play this, when the time is right. But for now, I guess Street Fighter 6 is going to just take over my life. All right, then. I think that's it for today. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you there. I was in the middle of just doodling in my favorite application, Fire Alpaca, and oh, what's that red thing? Oh, wow. Oh, man. Who could have seen that coming? But now that you're here, as you guys know, statistically speaking, only 25% of people subscribe. But if you are to subscribe, it does help my growth in content and viewership in general. So if you guys want to do that and get it out of the way, I mean, I'm not telling you to do it. It's not peer pressure, but I am saying the cool people kind of do it, right? So, thank you for watching. Please, again, like, share, subscribe if you enjoy it. If you have any questions or any ideas of what you'd like to hear from me next, please feel free to do so.